and I'm like,
From the Board of Justice.
very, very small.
Oh,
Very,
Right.
very big.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
The two other ones.
over here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a big house these days.
Gene, let me know when you're ready.
Oh gosh, sorry. Yup, just,
The good thing is I don't have to ask you this next one.
maybe. Okay. That was close.
Everybody's up and good? Those heads are having Okay. All right, let me call the regular Board of Education meeting of May 5th, 2026 to order at 6:32. Please silence or turn off any and all electronic devices. Mrs. Friedland, could you please call roll?
Yes, I can. Bianchini?
Here.
Camardo?
Here.
Friedland here. Grimpy?
Here.
Johnson?
Here.
Pfister?
Here.
And Ronstadt.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Fantastic. I'd like to entertain a motion in a second to go into closed session for the matters of personnel and negotiations at 6:32 with no action to be taken upon exit. Motion.
Second.
Go ahead.
We're all
We're
alive
ready.
tonight.
I was gonna say, somebody.
Moved by Ronstadt, second by, who wants it?
She can have it. The new prez gets it.
Let's go with this for now.
Alright. I have Ronstadt and Pfister.
Yes.
Okay. Friedland, yes. Camardo?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Grimpy?
Yes.
Bianchini?
Yes.
Ronstadt?
Yes.
And Pfister.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
This party started. All right, let me entertain.
There we go. All right, let me entertain a motion and a second to resume in open session at 7:12 PM.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Friedman, second by Ronstadt.
Johnson?
Yes.
Ronstadt?
Yes.
Bianchini?
Yes.
Camardo?
Yes.
Friedland, yes. Grimpy?
Yes.
And Fisher?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, welcome everybody. Could you please silence all electronic devices and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a flag in the back of the room. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next up is the consent agenda. Looking over the consent agenda, are there any items that a member would like to remove and further discuss, or is there a question of clarification? Okay, hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda in its entirety, which includes the following: the Board of Education meeting minutes from April 14th, 2026, Board of Education closed session meeting minutes from April 14th, 2026, the personnel report, actual payrolls, bills and checks, 8th grade graduation students, Chromebook charging carts, and the consolidated district plan.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Pfister, second by Bianchini. Any comments or questions before we call roll? Oh, I thought you had one, sorry. Okay, please call roll.
Fisher?
Yes.
Bianchini?
Yes.
Ronstadt?
Yes.
Friedland, yes. Johnson?
Yes.
Grimpy?
Yes.
And Camardo?
Yes.
And I just want to add in our personal report, congratulations to all our new tenured staff. Okay, next up are RTEA comments. Is there anyone from the union who would like to speak? Okay, hearing none. We'll move to visitors' comments. At this time, I'd like to recognize any members of the audience who approach the board with a comment or question by completing a visitor comment card. Please do note that the board and administration typically does not respond, and if you wish for a response, please provide your name and number or an email for a member of the board or administration to get back to you. Speakers are encouraged to limit their time for others to participate. A 3-minute time limit per speaker with an overall 60-minute maximum for visitor comments per our current policy. Are hearing none? We'll move on to board communications. Any board member like to share any communications?
I would love to.
Please do.
So I went to, at Euclid, I went to Passport Around the World, and it was absolutely adorable, and on top of it, so much food. Come hungry next year. I didn't know the trick. I had like a little snack before I went. That was a bad idea. But it was really fun. It was neat to see all of the engagement from different families and see the wide diversity and just all the cultural components that go into that school. And I appreciate all the teachers who put in all the effort and to make that happen. And obviously, Mrs. Daly working her magic over there. So thank you.
Anybody else?
I was able to attend 2 events. One was the Glow Dance at Indian Grove, which was 2 weeks ago. I think it was, I don't know, I want to say there's over 300 people there, so it's close to 400. It was rocking. It was cool to see the music, but also a beautiful night, so people just glow necklaces on the playground and just families enjoying the school, so that was really great. And last night I got to see the band concert, so beginner band, concert band, and jazz band, and I hope that the families and the kids are so proud of where they came from. From October till now, the growth has been amazing, and they all sounded great. It was amazing. So thanks to Mr. Smith as well.
Anybody else?
I stopped by the Prairie Trails prom, that I believe the 3rd annual. So that's quite a cute event. One of the teachers made like 400 little paper white bouquets, and or like the little boutonnieres or corsets, whatever you call them. It's been a long time since I went to prom, which was great. And they're paper, so you don't want to give a kid a flower, but they were paper. They were amazing. just the music and all the stuff that they put on there is really, really amazing. And then, this past weekend, I went to Miracle on Minor, which, with an SSEO, and, had probably our best turnout, probably had 200 to 300 people maybe. Had, the lizard reptile guy out, had, some food trucks and, the fire truck and police station, and everybody's welcome. Minor's a very welcoming environment, and, the kids over there, love to have you next year.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you, everyone. Next up, I'd like to thank Mr. Matt Toombs, formerly of District 26, now District 64, for the 2 Chromebook charging carts. And the district also received a library grant of $1,106.25. Thank you to Ms. Bonnie Chertok, who completed the grant application. Thank you so much. And next up is district recognition. Jody Christie, you have the floor.
Well, the first portion of recognition, again, is just kind of circling back on all of our staff members who have earned and qualified for tenure. So that list has been presented for the board, and also just a reminder that we are now in accelerated tenure, so teachers are earning tenure quicker than before, so that is nice. And so now we'll turn it over to Alicia.
Thank you for allowing me to come in and talk to you a little bit tonight about the Technology Committee, which has been just an amazing, amazing part of my year this year. This is my 3rd year in this district, and we've had Tech Committee every year, but I feel like this year, the things that we were able to do was just like mind-blowing. It was so exciting. So I'm thrilled to be able to recognize our members. We have several members who were able to come. So from Prairie Trails, we have Stacy Nagel and Laura Vernon. From Euclid tonight, we have Bonnie Chertok and Christine Chung. And then from the district office, we have Alan Jacobs. So then we have about 6 more people, I think, that weren't able to come tonight. But we have every school represented. And when the next slide is probably pretty obviously an AI-generated slide, but I typed in the words that to me summed up this year in Technology Committee. And so those words were think tank, because these people really are an amazing think tank. So we kind of start off each year or end each year with like an around the room brainstorm of like, what kinds of things do we want to do this year or next year? What are the things that are kind of bubbling up for students, for staff? What can we do? And then we kind of narrow that down. Then we do like a penny payout where people get to say like, this is how many pennies I would like to assign to the book study or to whatever. And so it really, I feel like, is this collaborative decision on what we feel like our priorities should be. They're extremely creative, and I think for me that really came to the fore for our Techno Nights. I mean, they were amazing. Problem solvers. Some of the things we talk about, I always start off the meeting with like, here are some FYI items or some potential issues that might come up, or do you hear anything from your schools that you feel like we should talk about? And so I feel like I've gotten a lot of great information from them as far as like, what do you guys think if we did this as a district? And then they're really honest, and then we can kind of like know and kind of problem solve for some of those potential issues because of their honesty and their just like grounding in each school. They're extremely enthusiastic, so we have a good time at Tech Committee, and then the things that we've done this year, they've just been so enthusiastic about them and so participatory. Generous, don't be alarmed. They're not giving money necessarily, but that was the image that was generated. They're giving their time. They give a lot of time, and especially with the Techno Nights, like so much time, but it was really well worth it. And then one of the other things that the Tech Committee is really involved in is the Ed Tech Initiative Grant, and so that's where they review the applications, we have a rubric, they discuss, And so that's been a really neat way for the tech committee to be involved and to be, knowing what's happening with some of the innovation in the district. And then the very end, so last April meeting and then again this Thursday in May, we have the recipients of the grants come and they do either a demo and or presentation for the tech committee. And so that's really a fun way for us to see like some of these amazing things that they've been doing, like chomp saws, which are used to cut out cardboard, and some different kinds of robotics. And so that's a really important way that the technology committee is involved. Of course, the Techno Nights, I know some of you were able to attend. We did one at Indian Grove and one at Euclid, and that's where these guys really shined as far as creativity and enthusiasm. And it was neat too, because even though we were at Indian Grove and then Euclid, we had these guys from Prairie Trails came and were able to see some of their old students. And so it was really like a cross-school event, which was really fun. There's some more pictures in here. We have like a green screen sort of a thing where families could get their pictures taken, and then we had it set up so they could get it sent immediately to their family's phone number. More Techno Night highlights. And then we did something that really was a departure for us, and that was the Anxious Generation Book Study. So this is something that came out of that brainstorming at the end of last year. We wanted to do a book study, and this is the one that really kind of everybody was intrigued to talk about. And so we offered it up to anybody in the whole district. And so we had, I think, about 60 people from the district sign up, including a few people from the central office, as well as people from every single school. So we had one virtual meeting, which is the screenshot in there, where we broke out into little groups, we had questions, and then we had 2 in-person meetings. And so it's just a topic that is so relevant to what we're doing right now in schools, like screen time and just the conversation surrounding it, that I know a few people here attended, and I think we found the discussions like really, really interesting. So that's what we did for Tech Committee this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we do next year. So I just really wanted to recognize them and say thank you so much for making it such a great year.
We're gonna make you come up for a picture, since Alicia didn't make you come up. I mean, we'd love to do that to our visiting staff members. And while you guys are going, I just want to say thank you. I think a lot of times in education, when you're on a committee, committees tend to do the same thing year after year, and I love the evolution and some of the new things that you guys have brought. And truly, like, my favorite part of a lot of what you're doing is seeing you all together at the different schools. I mean, there's not too many, hold on, wait for us, I'm in there. There's not a whole lot of opportunities for us to collaborate across schools and really be with each other. So that's just, I think, some of my most favorite pieces of some of the things that you guys have done this year. So thank you. Coming for a picture. Should we go in front of the screen?
Because you'll get the names of the people
Oh,
who
yeah.
are panelists. Always thinking ahead.
Hey. Pictures. Do I go that way? You good? Uh-oh, we're off kilter. Okay with the lighting though?
It's actually not as bad.
It's not as bad as when you want to put the lights on your face too. Yeah.
Oh.
It doesn't work out. You guys can have like the lights.
Yes.
All right, next up, let me entertain a motion and a second to hold a public hearing for the River Trail School District 26 e-learning plan at 7:27 p.m.
Moved.
Moved by Pfister, second by Johnson.
Ronson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Johnson, Camardo,
Yes.
Bianchini,
Yes.
Frankie,
Yes.
and Friedland, yes. Motion carries.
Good evening, everybody. This evening I'm here to talk to you about our proposal to renew our e-learning plan with the Regional Office of Education for the next 3-year term, continuing through 2029. So to give some historical context on e-learning, the state started with an e-learning pilot back in 2015, where they authorized several districts within the state to pilot an e-learning type program. With the information that they gained from this pilot, they started allowing schools to apply for e-learning status in 2019, which was really not that highly utilized until the COVID pandemic hit in 2020, when all schools were required to put an e-learning plan in place. The one silver lining to having to be forced into this in 2020 was our realization that in fact we could do it, and we could teach remotely if we were called upon to in emergency type situations. So we submitted our initial plan in 2020, we renewed our plan in 2023, and we are here again tonight to consider another renewal of the plan, as we need to do every 3 years. As I just stated, we must renew our plan every 3 years, and to renew the plan, several steps need to be taken to be in full compliance with the state of Illinois. The dates on this slide show our timeline to make sure that we are in compliance. And our goal this evening is to review the plan, to seek board approval. Following potential board approval, we would submit this plan to our Regional Office of Education, which would then be considered compliant for the next 3-year term. The e-learning plan is a very comprehensive plan that's made up of several mandatory components. We developed this plan in order to address all of these components, in order to ensure equity amongst our entire student body in the event that we would need to utilize an e-learning day or days within our calendar year. So the purpose of e-learning is to continue learning without disruption should a disruptive event occur. Teachers use a variety of different technological tools as well as paper-based tools in order to support this work. E-learning days do count as official school days, and therefore must include at least 5 hours of engagement time with students. There are several structures in place to communicate with stakeholders in the event that we would need to utilize e-learning. Our website is the main host for all of the details regarding our e-learning plan for parents and for any other external stakeholders and internal stakeholders. We develop internal procedure documents, and we hold professional learning sessions to communicate our expectations to our teaching staff. Our teachers work to prepare lessons for students in the case that there would be a potential e-learning day. On an actual e-learning day, our website is the most efficient way to communicate with our parents and to share the specifics regarding an e-learning day. Students, however, engage by means of different learning management systems, such as Schoology or historically Seesaw. Learning activities on e-learning days continue to align to our Illinois learning standards. Our teachers use effective strategies to engage students while taking into account the different developmental needs of all of our learners on that day. Support is provided to our special student population, such as multilingual learners and special education students, in order to support their successful participation in the e-learning day. All students and staff are provided with technology in order to participate in e-learning. For students and staff without internet access, we do have hotspot technology available within the district for checkout. Our learning management systems are deployed or used to organize content, and all students are instructed on how to use these tools prior to any potential school disruption. The district utilizes our Google platform that it already employs to connect students and staff via Google Meets. Student attendance is recorded as we typically would through PowerSchool, as if it were an actual in-person day. Students who are unable to attend due to family situations on an e-learning day are provided an opportunity to complete any makeup work. And of course, parents always have the opportunity to excuse their child should they so choose during an e-learning day. Students in need of any support or accommodation will receive those accommodations to the best of our ability. Multilingual teachers and special education teachers are paired with classrooms to support students. IEP accommodations and services are determined annually at IEP meetings, and remote e-learning plans are completed by the team and reviewed on an annual basis. Our Teaching and Learning Committee reviews the procedures annually, and after thorough review, those procedures are provided to staff to review in time for an e-learning day. The admin and the teachers work together to create this content in October. Following that, staff are tasked with preparing students and communicating with parents on what their tasks would be given an e-learning day. Information must be sent to parents by November 1st of each year to make sure that all stakeholders are prepared in the event of an e-learning day. As previously stated, any updated e-learning information is housed on our district website with schedules, grade level information, etc. This is monitored closely and updated regularly to allow for smooth functioning in the event of e-learning. And as we approach this 3-year mark to our current plan, we chose to survey our stakeholders. And we were pleased to hear that students, staff, and parents found e-learning to be very similar to a typical school day. Staff had confidence in the plan, and we were happy to hear that technology was not a barrier to learning. We were also very pleased to receive over 1,000 replies to our survey regarding this topic. When considering whether or not to seek renewal of our e-learning plan, it was rather clear in both our staff and our parent surveys that approximately 64% of both populations prefer e-learning versus typical school closures and would like us to see our e-learning plan renewed. Additional feedback we received allowed us to focus on some minor fixable structural adjustments, not completely editing the plan, but by making some small revisions. We have high effectiveness, high staff confidence, and high student buy-in, therefore showing us that our plan is appropriate for renewal. The TLC committee has already begun the work of making minor adjustments for the 26-27 procedures, and they will continue this work with the board's approval of the plan. The district may utilize up to a maximum of 5 e-learning days per calendar year. It is at the discretion of the superintendent whether to or not use an e-learning plan on any given day. And if an e-learning day is not used, the day will be made up at the end of the school year. Any questions on the plan?
I have a question. How is this affected by the new plan we voted on to approve if students don't have their Chromebook at home because of the new?
Well, we'll have to watch and monitor weather closely. And in the event that we see a potential e-learning day, we would communicate with our teachers and staff to send Chromebooks home on that given night. If we were not able to do that, we would need to just have an emergency school closure that next day.
That's open here. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, go ahead. Sure.
No, sorry, I hate with a passion e-learning days. They're just, I don't know, in my opinion, just absolutely awful. The 5 hours, I had a great presentation, and I appreciate all the work that you did, but I gotta stand with the third of parents and teachers that said this was not effective. The asynchronous learning is basically self-directed teaching, and I think like, if it didn't take away an in-person day, I'd be all for this. But, you know, because you have the kids that stay at home and you gotta have them do something. But the idea that we're replacing an in-person day with an e-learning day is just, I can't handle it. So, that's all.
I mean, it doesn't mean that we will, it just means that we can.
I know, but I don't even wanna go back there. I mean, if e-learning is truly as effective as a day in class, let's,
Oh, I don't think
Let's-
let's claim
okay,
that,
well,
I agree.
I know, but you know, that's, I just don't, I'm sorry, I'm old school here. Make up the school days, you know, unless the school burns down, we'll deal with that, or there's another
Knock on wood.
pandemic. Yeah, knock on wood, we don't want that to happen, kids don't get any ideas, but, yeah, I mean, make up the days. I mean, we spent so much money on our facilities, we have beautiful schools, we pay for the transportation, the in-person is just gonna be e-learning every day. And again, if it didn't take away a day, I would be on board with this, but that counting as a school day, just, that's all.
Mrs. Friedman, go ahead.
We can have a chat afterwards. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I will say, so do we, and I apologize, I should have, asked for this beforehand, and I do not expect these numbers now. Do we have our attendance numbers for, those days historically, and then how many days have we even used? And like, I mean, besides for them,
I was gonna pull that data, I think we used one in the one this year, correct?
Yes.
And one the prior year,
I mean,
yes,
right?
so,
I feel like they're so infrequent.
yeah.
Um,
Attendance
I
is
can
very
put that in.
similar,
I
it's
can
very
put
close to
attendance in that.
95%. So attendance rates are rather high.
Okay, and yeah, I was gonna say, and I apologize, I should have asked,
That's okay.
that sooner, so I did not mean to put you on the spot. And I agree with this, I totally understand definitely where you're coming from, but I wholeheartedly support this plan as it does offer some continuity, in the middle of the school year when these typically seem to happen. And being able to have a plan in place that still allows for students to have some consistency, even if it is sometimes asynchronous. I think it keeps people on track, especially like in the middle of weeks when we're trying to figure out how to progress through the week. Because it is harder to just have those days on at the end of the year when everybody does start to check out. So at that point, I kind of get a little wishy-washy on how helpful it is to tack them on at the end of the year. But, I agree with that.
Anybody else?
On that second to last slide, first of all, I agree with you, Janine. On the continuity.
Write
Oh,
it down.
thanks. 3 hours in the middle of winter over one full day in person at the end of June, or beginning of June. I think we get more out of it. But that's not my question or point. The second to last slide, the recommended procedural change on eliminating the asynchronous. Fully agree with that. Is that
Not
recommended? as in it's
eliminating
going to-
asynchronous, but we're going to
Oh, I
be
do like that.
shifting our element, where we really were struggling was in elementary specials. So they were very large groups of students participating in music, PE, art, and the teachers were having a very hard time navigating it with so many students on a screen. The students were having a hard time hopping back and forth from links, especially for our youngest learners. So we are going to be pairing our specialists with classrooms to kind of serve as co-teachers throughout the day so that we will have more teachers in each classroom, in each general education classroom, and then we will provide some asynchronous activities for them during their asynchronous time to participate in more active movement, creative work with art and things like that. So we will be making some tweaks to that elementary schedule in order to help the students function a little bit better. Does that make sense?
Not really.
Okay.
So,
The PE teacher will go to the home. The
What
PE
was that?
teacher would go to, like, rotate for 20 minutes into like a homeroom class.
Well, they'll just be assigned as a teaching partner.
Okay.
So for instance, Ms. Chertuck may be partnered with Ms. Voss Miller, and they may co-teach first grade together, and she would help support that instruction within the classroom. In terms of our specials, our PE, our music, and our art, it'll be more asynchronous type work for those special areas that'll be for that offline time. So the students will have the same amount of synchronous time and the same amount of asynchronous time. It's just when they're in live instruction, it'll be with their homeroom teacher versus jumping around to different links throughout the day. So they're kind of staying in one
eliminating
place.
the link jumping.
Where,
Okay.
yes, and they
Got it.
won't have like direct PE instruction. They will have PE activities for later in the day. We'll focus mostly on literacy, math, things like that during the live
Okay,
time.
that's clear. Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Also, this is a public hearing, would anybody like to speak from the audience? Love to hear from you. Okay,
Hearing Hearing none, let me entertain a motion and a second to adjourn the public hearing.
For the River Trail School District 26 e-learning plan at 7:42.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Johnson, second by Bianchini. Could you please call roll?
I surely can. Grimby,
Yes.
Friedland, yes. Johnson,
Yes.
Bianchini,
Yes.
Pfister,
Yes.
Camardo,
Yes.
and Ronstadt.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Seifert. All right, next up is, let me entertain a motion and a second to approve the e-learning plan for the River Trail School District for the term of 3 years.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Johnson, second by Pfister. Any more comments or questions before we call roll?
I just wanted to add thanks for putting a new plan in, for asking families for feedback. It's good to evaluate. I hear both sides. I do appreciate, especially these last few years of construction, having the flexibility. We already have longer pushing into doing one more day. If we didn't have the e-learning plan in place, we were going another day in June. So it's nice to have the option.
Less work involved with preparation if there's no e-learning, so can just drop all of that.
60% of teachers disagree with you.
That's a third agree.
Anybody else? Could you please call roll?
I can. Grimby,
Yes.
Ronstadt,
No.
Friedland. Yes, sorry. I'm so sorry. I was literally still laughing because never mind. The no got me. All right, yes, for me, Johnson,
Yes.
Pfister,
Yes.
Camardo,
Yes.
and Bianchini.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Everything can't be unanimous.
I would agree.
All right, next up is business services, enrollment and staffing. Ryan, you have the floor.
Thank you. We're still monitoring the same grade levels and locations that we were last month. No change from the April building.
Fantastic. Any questions for Mr. Baird before we move on?
No questions, but I do want to continue to stress that for the class sizes that are bigger in 4th and 5th grade, that we do have our ACE program where we pull those students out, because I've heard concerns from a couple different parents, and I think that sometimes just goes unnoticed, even though we've stressed it. So I'm just stressing it again, that for some of those classes that look at their bigger numbers per sections at that 4th and 5th grade level, we do have those pull out, we pull students out to go to ACE. So those numbers are slightly skewed when we look at them in this format.
Thank you. All right, next up are committee reports. The first one is the River Trails Education Foundation. Mr. Camardo, you are our representative.
Have been waiting. All right, so this is our Education Foundation's first report out in 5+ years, at least first time since I've been around. I believe our vice president will give the presentation. I don't know if you want to be accompanied by our treasurer and fiduciary. Okay.
I think I turned the clicker off. I turned the clicker back on. Oh, it's not on.
Oh, am I doing this too?
Maybe Brandon could drive the clicker and then it takes one thing and that thing
Oh,
off your
good,
plate.
there you go.
Does that work?
Here for you.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ann Foreman, and I'm the Vice President of the River Trails Education Foundation. Brandon Simmons is with us tonight. He's with Edward Jones Investments. And we also have Sandra Fahey here tonight. She's a fellow trustee and the treasurer. I believe we've probably got a slide that lists all of our members, our trustees, but...
Yeah, there it is.
But tonight, I would like to just give a brief overview of the foundation. And we've been in existence for many, many years. Please don't ask me when we started because I don't know, but I became a trustee like in the late 1980s, early 1900s. This is being taped, right? Great. I love that. So hi, everyone. But
over the years, and I've been a trustee for a very long time, our goal is to provide support to the students of River Trail School District 26 and enhance their educational experience. Over the years, the foundation has held many fundraising events. Our annual dinner dance was a huge hit for quite a while, and it had live auction, raffle items, raffle tables, all kinds of things, and then dinner and dancing later, which was very fun. We also had Oktoberfest events, and now we have a plant sale each year, which, by the way, is this Saturday. So if you've ordered plants, feel free to come pick them up on Saturday. And if you didn't order plants, no worries, we've got extras, and we would be happy to sell them to you. That's how I get my plants each year, I get extras. But anyway, our plant sale is our primary fundraiser each year. We have had ideas for other fundraisers, but so does the PTA, and so does the CPT and the music boosters, and we've been very careful not to step on toes and do any fundraisers that other organizations within our district are doing. Oh, I just lost my thing. You know, I see high school students do this all the time, and it seems to work for them. So I apologize for this, but there it is again. The foundation funds their fine arts grants each year. We've had fine arts grants for a long time. Our students are able to attend a live fine arts performance each year that they attend our River Trail School District. This school year, we funded our fine arts grants for all grade levels, pre-K through 8th grade, and our cost was $21,619. So it's something that we're very proud of this that we do each year, and it's a wonderful thing. As I said, Brandon is our Edward Jones Investments trustee, and he's going to give you just a brief little update on our endowment fund. Take it away.
Good evening. Thank you guys very much for having us here tonight so we could give a little update on what we've been doing. As I said, I'm Brandon Simmons. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones and a certified financial planning professional. And what we have is an account that is a mix between some stocks and bond investments. And our balance is diminishing with costs going up for these events. We've increased the amount that we're allotting for each of these grade levels as well to provide that experience. So we are set for the next few years, but just to know that it is a finite amount of money. So, any questions for me? All right.
I'm going
Back
to
to you.
close. I'm going to close this out. So in closing, the foundation has seen many changes over the years, has weathered those changes, and we're still standing. We will continue to support the River Trail School District 26 students for as long as we are able to. And with that, I'll take any questions. I can't guarantee an answer, but we so appreciate the support of the Board of Education and the administration for all of these years. We wouldn't have been able to do all the things that we've done as a foundation without your support. So thank you very much.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. All right, next up is NSSEO. Do you have anything to add? You did have a meeting, I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything, or?
No, I mean, we've been doing negotiations and, that's all, in progress. And, then we've got the budget here that was presented last month. Any questions?
Nope, we'll write into motion in a second to adopt the resolution for the NSSEO amended 2025-2026 annual budget and the 26-27 annual budget. Moved by Grimby, second by
Yes, Robert.
Ronstadt. Thank you. Any comments or questions before we call roll?
Do we get a hard copy? With the spiral on it? With a spiral on it?
I will ask that for you, Donna, yes.
They used to give them out all the time.
Okay, we're trying to save a tree.
You're trying to save a tree.
Which one? Okay.
Anybody else? Janine, you have a question?
No, I'm just
Please call roll.
waiting, yes, all right, Ronstadt,
Yes.
Bianchini,
Yes.
Johnson. Yes. Camardo,
Yes.
Pfister,
Yes.
Grimpe,
Yes.
Friedland, yes. Motion carries.
Motion carries. Excellent. Okay, next up is the President's Report. Some upcoming events to share. For Prairie Trails, we have music sharing on May 20th at 5:30 p.m. At Indian Grove, we've got an art show May 7th at 6 p.m. Chorus concert May 11th. Recess with relatives May 14th and 15th. Field day on May 27th. 5th grade celebration June 5th. For Euclid, we've got 4th and 5th grade music sharing on May 14th at 5:30. Field day May 29th. End of the year bash on June 2nd. And the 5th grade soar up ceremony on June 5th. At RTMS, we've got the orchestra concert on May 13th at 7 p.m. The 8th grade breakfast on May 19th at 6:45 a.m. Chorus bucket and steel drum bands concert on May 19th at 7 p.m. And we have 8th grade graduation on June 3rd at 7 p.m. Some important board meeting dates. We do have our self-evaluation on May 19th from 5 to 7 here at the middle school. And our next board meeting is on June 9th, also here at the middle school. This being my last board president update, I just wanted to say a few things and throw out some thank yous. Thanks to Facebook Memories, I was actually appointed president 5 years and a day ago, by odd coincidence. So during that time, we were still remote. It was COVID. It was done over Zoom, so that was interesting. And through the last 5 years, we're in the middle of a contract. We did approve an earlier contract. We've hired a superintendent. The superintendent resigned. And there's a couple things that I'm really proud of that I just want to kind of note. I'm going to take a minute to pat myself on the back, but I think I'm allowed once. With some of my fellow board presidents, former board presidents, we started a board president networking group, which I'm extremely proud of, and I hope that future President Pfister continues that. It's extremely valuable to network with the local and neighboring board districts or board presidents, not only at the last Monday of the month when we would meet, but all those texts that we send to vent, or hey, who do you use for your bus service, or who you use for food service. And then just to kind of, when all of a sudden one of your board presidents meeting is on WGN for reasons that they don't necessarily want to brag about, to just give them a little pep talk and tell them that they did a nice job. So it's that cohort that we've created that has made this role I learned more about myself than I did about my fellow board presidents and our board. I do want to thank Dr. Wagner, who was our superintendent at the time, two former presidents, Frank Fiorito and Donna Johnson, who were my sounding board, my psychiatrist, you could enter a lot of different roles there. Absolutely. I want to thank the other board members for approving that election for five years. The current cabinet, your help has been invaluable, and certainly Dr. Megerly. You all know how awesome she is. You're going to learn how incredibly awesome she is, but I couldn't have done this for as long as I have without your help. So thank you so much. And that's it. I'm looking forward to passing the baton on later tonight. So that's it. Thank you.
You're up with the superintendent report.
Okay, well, I was gonna start with my exciting para update, but on that note, I also want to say thank you to Bill. It really is hard to believe. It's your last night sitting next to me with the gavel, and just, thank you for your leadership, your partnership. It has been so wonderful working next to you. And I got you a little something to just kind of commemorate. It's not fancy, but just to highlight some of your work in action. You can peek at it now if you want, but you've done a lot in 5 years, and so some of the highlights are in there. A lot of the things that you like doing, being in a crowd, at the microphone, your daughter's graduation right there. So yeah, so you've done a lot. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, now on to the exciting para updates. So if you recall, in August, I came to the board because there had been a change in legislation on teacher evaluation and the growth component. And so we had met as a group, a joint committee, and talked about suspending that growth component for the school year. Brought that to the board, kind of explained all of that to y'all, and you were good with that. At the time, I had promised that we were going to work on coming together on a better option than just using what we had used it was called an SLO, and it really was a compliance piece. It had turned into a compliance piece. And so we did have a great meeting at the beginning of the year. We had a lot of insight. We had a lot of great ideas about how to make teacher evaluations growth component more meaningful. But quite honestly, the school year moved on, and a lot of the same people that are in the para committee are also on negotiations and also working on the strategic plan. And so we felt like we couldn't continue to go back to that group and ask them to do more work because, again, they're the same people that are doing a lot of the work in some of the other areas. So I am back to basically recommend extending it again for another year so that we can put the time and thought into that growth component that it needs, and hope that you support that recommendation. Any questions?
Do we need to vote or just give you a?
No,
okay.
I think it's just me, wanting to keep you guys abreast of things that have changed, when they change throughout the course of the year, so, yeah. Janine, is there an?
No,
Yeah.
no, I mean,
Question?
so we're just going one full year out, and then in spring of next school year, then we'll, so this little bringing to the board in the spring of 2027, that'll be like
Yes.
that'll be options, or that'll be like a revised?
A revised plan. So,
Okay.
again, I think we've already explored options, but we want to dig in and put the pen to the paper, and we'll come back with what exactly that growth component looks like.
Thank you.
You're still doing evaluations in the.
Oh, yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes. And so it used to be the growth component was a certain percent, so now the evaluation is the 100%.
Okay.
Okay. You had a presentation up, but it's not there anymore. That's it for my report, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, all right. Sorry about that.
Why don't we take a 5-minute break and we can do rework?
Well, don't you want to do the adjournment, sign the date, and then you take the.
Oh, sure, okay, correct. Let me entertain a motion in a second to adjourn, sine die.
No, you just declared. You just declared.
All right, we're adjourned. For 5 minutes,
We're adjourned, signing die.
sine die.
We'll see you in 5 minutes.
See you in 5 minutes. Smoke them if you got them.
I'm still,
I'm still- Janine loves them.
I'm still mentoring.
To entertain a motion.
Had to bring it back. Yep. Okay.
Mrs. Friedland, could you please call roll?
Would love to. I apologize, I don't take this as another attendance record, do I? I take this as just roll call? Perfect, thank you. And I have to have a motion, second. Pfister?
Do you want me to motion or read?
It's okay, you can just.
Here.
Grimpy?
Here.
Bianchini?
Here.
Ronstadt?
Here.
Camardo?
Here.
Johnson?
Here.
And Friedland here.
All right, let me entertain nominations from the floor to elect a temporary chair to conduct the election of board president.
I hereby nominate Mrs. Johnson as temporary chair.
Okay, with no further nominations, I declare the nominations to elect a temporary chair closed. I would like to entertain a motion in a second to approve Mrs. Johnson as the temporary chair.
Moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Camardo, second by Ronstadt. Please call roll.
Yes, I can. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Who made the motion?
Mr. Camardo and Mr. Ronstadt seconded.
I apologize. I must have marked something someplace else. Pfister?
Yes.
Grimpy?
Yes.
Bianchini?
Yes.
Ronstadt?
Yes.
Camardo?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
And Friedland, yes. Motion carries.
Okay, the first order of business will be the election of the board of the president of the Board of Education, River Trails School District 26, to serve until the 2026/27 board reorganization meeting and until their successor is elected and qualified. So therefore, I hereby entertain nominations from the floor to conduct the election for board president.
I would like to proudly nominate Mrs. Pfister for the office of board president.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, no further nominations. I declare the nominations to elect the president closed. And I would like to entertain a motion in a second to approve Mrs. Pfister as board president until the 2026/27 board reorganization meeting.
So moved.
Second. Grimpy?
Yes.
Bianchini?
Yes.
Friedland, yes. Ronstadt?
Yes.
Pfister?
Yes.
Camardo?
Yes.
And Johnson?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Go.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Mr. Grumpy. I have literally and figuratively big shoes to fill. So thank you for your mentorship. I really appreciate it. Okay. I would like to recognize the next order of business, the election of Vice President of the Board of Education, River Trail School District 26, to serve until the 2026-27 board reorganization meeting and until their successor is elected and qualified. I hereby entertain nominations from the floor for the office of Board Vice President.
I would like to nominate Mr. Grimpy as board vice president.
Any other nominations? With no further nominations, I declare the nominations to elect a vice president closed. I would like to entertain a motion and a second to nominate Mr. Grumpy as board vice president until the 2026-2027 board reorganization meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Ronstadt, second by Mrs. Johnson. Please call roll.
Friedland, yes. Camardo?
Yes.
Grimpy?
I'll abstain.
Bianchini?
I should vote for myself.
Yes. You should. I think you should. Ronstadt?
Yes.
Pfister?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
I would like to recognize the next order of business to be the election of Secretary of the Board of Education, River Trail School District 26, to serve until the 2026-27 board reorganization meeting and until his or her successor is elected and qualified. I hereby entertain nominations from the floor for the office of Board Secretaries.
I would like to nominate Mrs. Friedland as the board secretary.
Thank you. Any additional nominations? With no further nominations, and I declare nominations for the office of board secretary closed. I would like to entertain a motion and a second to nominate Mrs. Friedland as board secretary until the 2026-27 board reorganization meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Bianchini, seconded by Mr. Camardo. Please call roll.
Grimby,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Friedland, yes. Camardo,
Yes.
Ronstadt,
Yes.
Pfister,
Yes.
Bianchini. Yes. Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I thought I'll bring better style next time. I feel like there's been a lot of mix-ups tonight.
I just have a question for Mr. Grimpy. When you go into the voting booth, do you vote for yourself on election day?
That's secret.
For the right amount of cash, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
Knock on wood.
Okay. The next order of business is to establish times, dates, and locations for our regular board meetings. I hereby entertain a motion and a second to affirm the scheduled board meetings through May 4th, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Grumpy, second by Mrs. Friedland. Please call roll.
Ronstadt,
Yes.
Camardo,
Yes.
Friedland, yes. Johnson,
Yes.
Bianchini, yes. Pfister,
Yes.
and Grimby.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next is committee assignments. I hereby entertain a motion and a second to adopt the committee assignments as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Friedland, second by Mrs. Johnson. Please call roll.
Ronstadt,
Yes.
Grimby,
Yes.
Friedland, yes. Johnson,
Yes.
Pfister,
Yes.
Camardo,
Yes.
and Bianchini. Yes. Motion carries.
Next is adopting our prior policies, rules, and regulations. Entertain a motion and a second to adopt the prior River Trails School District 26 policies, rules, and regulations.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Johnson, second by Mrs. Bianchini.
Pfister,
Yes.
Camardo,
Yes.
Bianchini, yes. Johnson,
Yes.
Ronstadt,
Yes.
Friedland, yes. And Grimby.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, our next business is future topics and pending items, we have none. And following is items for future consideration. Does anybody have a topic they'd like to discuss or bring to the table for future consideration? Hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion and a second to adjourn at 8:17 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Griffey, seconded by Mrs. Johnson. Roll.
Pfister,
Yes.
Ronstadt,
Yes.
Grimby,
Yes.
Camardo,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Friedland, yes. And Bianchini. Yes. We are adjourned at 8:17.